Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Moore with the Audrey Helps Actors podcast, and this is episode 135. Feeling alive as you drive through your city where you dwell, hoping to thrive this self-tape May. Woo! Today on the show, we have Elizabeth Ho. Elizabeth is an actress who has been a series regular on many shows, including this show. She's smart, hilarious, and today we answer all your questions, including using data instead of panicking, how to stay competitive, and those undergarments. What are you wearing under there? Self-Tape May. We're in the middle of Self-Tape May, 16 tapes, 1 month. Can you do it? Yes, you can. I am loving all of the gloves. Also, this cop light you guys are all using, that's just like so awesome. Okay, here's the thing. The hardest thing to do, there's 2 points. You have to get to tape 8 is 1. It's like really hard to get to tape 8. Like tape 1 through 4, great. Tape 8, hard. Tape 12, hard. Once you get to 12, you're going to go all the way. But get to tape 8, just think to yourself, just get to 8, just get to 8, just get to 8. Once you get to 8, just say, get to 12, get to 12, get to 12, get to 12. And then you're home free. Sign up for free on selftapemay.com. It is not too late to join. Tons of people do 16 tapes in like 2 days. Just do it. Just get her done. If you finish 16 tapes in May, you are going to be eligible for the most amazing prize package, including a year of Casting Network's premium membership, a session with acting coach Jeff Pride, a year of castability, a year of Track My Auditions, Courtney Ruse, the Mastering the Medical Role Workshop, Shannon Bill's Lead Role Energy 5-week class, and Slateable is donating a huge prize package this year, including a self-tape studio and a tripod, backdrop, lighting, and an iPad, plus 1 year of Slateable 4 with new voice-activated reader, teleprompter, and a recorder voice changer to help you rehearse for your tape. Go to selftapemay.com, do 16 tapes, and you will automatically be entered into the drawing to win all that, and you're going to get to be on the podcast. Woohoo! Huzzah! Hoozie-zoo, hoozie-za. All right, this week we got reviews. Oh my goodness. Thank you to End Times for Hatter, Don the Builder, Greg Hudson, and Greg Hudson again on a different platform. Greg, stop it. That's just amazing. Your reviews make me feel like I opened up the news today and they said, hey, we found a cure for cancer. Just cancer, not a specific kind of cancer, but in general, as a whole, they're like, guys, we cured the cancer. Wouldn't that be an amazing day if you woke up and they're like, leading news today, we have cured cancer. You'd be like, oh my God, that's done? Amazing. Don't you want to make me feel as though we have, as a race, cured cancer? Wouldn't that be awesome? So please take 10 seconds and go to ratethispodcast.com/Audrey. That's ratethispodcast.com/Audrey. This week's podcast is brought to you by the Slateable app at slateable.com, also by the Castability app at castability.actor, and also by trackmyauditions.com. I hope you're on your way to an audition, and I hope you book it!
Audrey helps actors because they don't know anything.
Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Moore with the Audrey Helps Actors podcast, and today we have
Liz Ho.
Lizzie, what's going on, girl?
You know, another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise. Not the TV show. We haven't been casting that one yet.
No, but I have a friend who's working on it, so exciting times.
Exciting.
Yeah, she just got folded into costumes, and they're very lucky to work with her. So.
Well, I'm just thrilled for everybody that gets a job. It's a win for all of us.
Truly.
Honestly, truly, and truth. How you been this year?
So far, so good.
Good.
I had to really think about that, though.
Yeah, well, that's true.
How about you? How are you doing?
I was sick. I'm better now. And every day that I'm not waking up in pain and or waking up addicted to pills.
Win. We can end the podcast right there.
That's it. Expectations low, enthusiasm
so high.
Okay, so we have listener questions today because per usual, the listeners be coming in with the questions.
Let's go.
All right, Jesse, listener question is up.
Hi, Audrey. This is Bianca Turner. I'm calling from Los Angeles. You had made some really great posts about just getting curious about what's going on with your acting career rather than making these bold assumptions and panicking. So I'm trying to do less of bold assumptions and panicking and more of like thoughtful analytics and just getting curious. And I'm going through my audition tracker right now and collecting some data with it. And I guess my question for you is like, what is the best way to really look at this data and make some thoughtful conclusions? Like, is there like, what's a good callback ratio? What's a good booking ratio? Like, I have these numbers. I'm able to see what's going on, but it's my first year as a member of SAG doing an audition tracker. So I don't really have anything to compare the data to. So I hope that made sense. That's my question. Thanks for all you do. Adore you. And bye.
Well, Bianca, congrats on being in SAG.
Yes, let's applaud. Yay!
And I love that you're getting curious about data versus panicking, because panicking at a disco, while fun, can lead to things like anxiety
and
depression.
That also leads to depression. It leads to resentment, compare and despair, just making up stories. One of my favorite things I'll give everyone that my therapist said, which was really great, was if I'm going to spend time making up the worst case scenario in my head, I also then have to consciously spend time making up the best case scenario so that they're evenly weighted.
Rude. So rude.
How dare she?
How dare she do her job and be very good at it? That's really great. I love that.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
When I was making these posts at the end of last year, 2025, I was talking a lot about the scientific method, ladies and gentlemen, which is identifying the problem. What happens is we identify a problem and then we just make up all of the reasons in which the problem may be the problem, but we're not actually investigating and then identifying possible solutions to the actual problem. So one problem might be, I'm not getting auditions. Period. So let's say you're Bianca, you just joined SAG-AFTRA and you have identified, I'm not getting auditions. Now, what would I'm not getting auditions mean? I'm not getting auditions is I'm only auditioning once every 6 months. I'm not getting auditions means I'm not auditioning once every week. You want to quantify the actual amount of auditions that you imagine would be a good amount versus what is you feel like a dissatisfactory amount. So that's the first thing you want to do.
I also want to say, I know she was asking for specific numbers, but I feel like it kind of varies from person to person, right?
It does vary from person to person, and it's kind of hard to get comparative data for your own category in your own circumstances. For instance, Liz and I, we both have the same agent. We both have fantastic managers. We both been in this industry for a long time. We both audition for comedies and dramas. And even still, our data is going to be different. And she can come to me like, are you auditioning? But that's not necessarily a good reflection of whether or not that means that Liz should be auditioning. So you kind of have to have some people, some representation is a good way to ask. Some casting directors are maybe a good way to ask. Some access to research, which we can talk about, so that you actually get an understanding of like, should I be expecting greater numbers, or are these numbers actually good, which is a hard thing to quantify.
What if I don't have access to things like people in my same category, or maybe, just starting to do some casting director workshops, but don't feel comfortable reaching out to them being like, hey,
should I be auditioning more?
Tell me,
Yes.
what are the baby steps I can take?
A fantastic first step that you can take is contacting your representation and asking for a submission report, but you want to go back. So let's say you've been in the union for a year, which it sounds like she's been in. So you want to be going for your submission report and you ask them for all of 2025. So they can do that very easily. They just go onto their breakdowns account, they click on your profile, and then they do a date range of January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025. It gives them all of the submissions that they submitted you on, and then they can email that to you. It should take them all of 6 6 minutes.
And what
max.
is on the submission report?
So submission report is what the agent has clicked on to submit you in possibility to get an audition for that role.
So it's not necessarily the audition you get. It is them just submitting you.
Yes, it's them saying like, I volunteer Audrey as tribute.
Oh, good.
Great. For 911 for this role. Okay. So when you get that submission report, if you have on a submission report over 1 year, if you've only been submitted 25 times, I'm here to give you the data that that's low. It costs them almost nothing really to submit you. Now, they should be strategic in how they submit you. If the roles are for grandma and you are not grandma and they are submitting you for grandma, maybe they're not getting the respect and the strategy that would indicate good business practices.
Well, and I just want to put a pin in this too, that I have been submitted for things that are not necessarily in my category type. However, because of relationship and the amount of auditions I've had with a particular casting office, they can sometimes bring you in for things that are not your range because producers don't know what they want.
Right, because casting is shopping, they're thinking outside the box. So one submission for grandma need
That's
not
what
be a
I wanted
problem.
to.
30 submissions for grandma if you're 28 years old. Maybe you need to have a conversation with your rep, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take that report and then you can actually copy paste it and you can funnel it through a spreadsheet. You can put it onto a document. You can use Audition Tracker, like Track My Auditions. I don't know if you guys, promo code Audrey25. But also, it's also just genuinely my favorite way to track auditions. But it's really great. That's what I like to use. So what you're going to do with this is you're literally going to go submission report by submission report. The reason I want you to do 2025 is the likelihood that much of it has aired is high. I personally recommend looking for things that are the kinds of projects that you want to be getting auditions for. So if it's a ultra low budget feature film, A, it may not be up there yet. And B, do you want to be doing ultra low budget feature films? Maybe, maybe not. But if you want to be auditioning and booking television, let's say, studio film, let's say, then you go through and you just highlight those particular submissions, okay? You can also delete the ones that you don't want to worry about. So delete that film, delete that one, delete this thing, delete that project. And then you have a more concise list. Then you're just going to look it up. And so if January 3rd, you were submitted for FBI, then it has the name of the role. It usually has the episode number. And then you're going to go on to IMDb Pro. If you don't have an IMDb Pro account, welcome. You're going to now get one. And you're going to look up the actor that booked that role. And then you're going to say to yourself, was I in the running? Did something weird happen? And you can do that just visually. So you look at them visually, and if they are somebody that is in a completely different category from you, then I go ahead and delete that. I go, okay, so I was submitted. They were doing a maybe general submission. Delete, we go. If, however, you look and they look a lot like you, but their resume, you notice, is quite a bit stronger than yours, then it could be your resume. If you take a little look-see and you see that their representation is maybe a really high caliber, then maybe that's relationships, okay? If you do that for even January, February, March for the year, you're going to start to see some trends. Is everyone union? Usually, yes. Who are the reps that everyone is with? What do their reels look like? Do they have reels? Are their reels clipped out? If you look for their Actors Access, do they have reels on IMDb, IMDb Pro? What does their social media perhaps look like? Not because I want you to care about social media numbers, but to get a sense of who is this person and what is maybe their personality and what is the branding that they're putting out there. You can take a look also at their representation. If you go through, let's say, 3 months and you have 90 submissions that you have been submitted for and you do not get an audition for any of those 90, and you don't see your reps, either your agent or manager, in any of the 90 that got auditions, that's good information. What might that say, Liz?
Well, it means they don't have strong relationships with the office.
Who
right?
doesn't?
your representation.
Right.
And it can also be you in many ways, right? If they do things like casting director workshops.
Sure. But
right?
if you are looking and you see that your particular agent doesn't have a single person who booked out of maybe 3 months to a year's worth of the rookie, then maybe your agent or manager or both do not have relationships with the casting people over at the rookie.
Right. So they could be hitting submit, and they just don't.
They
Look
don't
at
open
them.
it.
Yeah.
So those are some things in order to find out what the problem is. Because often if you're not getting auditions, it could be any number of things. Could be your union status. If you're not union and you are hoping to audition for network television, period, and you are over the age of, I would say, 25, you're starting to get into competitive territory where pretty much everyone in your age is union. And if you are not, then they just don't need to take the risk to bring you in.
When you have a resume that shows a larger body of work than, say, someone else's, right? Yeah. The reason why casting and production may not want to take a gamble on you is because they know someone who's worked on set. They can be reliable. They know what the rules are. They know how to stand in place, take cues and direction, to show up on time. All things that I know someone younger in their career can do. It's just when you said gamble, I just wanted to kind of clarify what that meant.
Yeah, that's right. So it could be that you're non-union. Could also be a materials issue. Could be that your materials are not competitive. Could be that your materials, either the quality of your photos is indicating that you are a little green. Could be that the quality of your photo is not appropriate for the kinds of roles you're being submitted for.
When you say quality, what do you mean?
God, I love this question. When I talk about quality, a lot of it is a clear statement about who you are and what you do and what you are here in this photo to say that you're accomplishing. So if things are confusing in message, so if like your hair is really frizzy, but then you have like a lot of long eyelashes on, but then you're like in a sweater that I got from Kohl's, and then you're 23 years old, that might be a confusing message in terms of like, what are you actually selling? So that can be quality. Another thing that's quality is exposure. Does it look like the photographer cared at all about the light? Did they just like sit you on a chair and go, we're going to take a photo? There are actual like photography skill sets.
Okay, got it. So we talked about representation. We talked about quality. Anything else?
Yeah, it could be materials in terms of your footage, your reel. If you have no footage, not great. If, let's say, you should be auditioning or you identify that you want to be auditioning for a lot of what I call uniformed professionals. So military, cop,
nurse,
security guard, EMT, right? And all of your footage, you look like you came out of a Vogue magazine shoot.
I mean, hot, but
maybe not helpful.
So great for social media, maybe not great for actors' access.
Right.
Yeah.
So that can be a thing in terms of your footage.
So is there anything else that we can help Bianca with in terms of looking at your analytics?
Yes. So you can take a look at your materials, your relationships, your resume level. Are you being submitted above your resume level? That's not a problem, but that might be a conversation you want to have with your representation. Like, hey, I noticed all of this awesome stuff that you submitted me for. You're submitting me for top of show guest star and above, and I just have one co-star. Why are we doing that? They may have a very good reason why they're doing that, and that may affect your numbers, but they might have a strategy, and then you have to decide whether or not you're going to trust your rep with their strategy or whether or not you're going to be like, I have FOMO.
Right.
And then you can start to decide which of these things are in your control to solve. Do they need solving? Or do you need to just continue your work of building relationships on your own, making sure that your craft is staying steady, and have trust in your team, have trust in your eventuality, and keep plodding along?
Also, some of it is luck.
God, tell them about that, though.
I think about my career. I also think about yours. It's a lot of hard work, but it's also luck and opportunity. We just happen to be at the right time in the right place, and that's out of your control.
Yeah, and also if you have ADHD, just a little hyperfocus will go a long way.
So real.
Just a little bit. You'll be done in 3 hours.
I love this idea of being curious about different things. And you don't have to do this all at once.
No, please, God.
Little bits.
Little bits.
Little bits. Well, thank you, Bianca. What a great question.
Great question. Jesse, what do you got? But wait, Liz, wait. I have to interrupt you.
Help me. I need some help.
And now it's time for listener questions.
I'm so scared.
This listener question is brought to you by the Slateable app. Is your partner sick of helping you? Is the person that you live with like, Are your friends tired of linking up schedules and rushing through tapes? And when you're like, let's just do 3 more. And they're like, no. Download the Slateable app and let your creativity flourish. Nobody's time to waste but your own. Slateable 4 lets you rehearse and record tapes with a virtual reader that listens and responds, then puts together the finished video, slate, and all in one app. Boom! It has rehearse features. It has an auto reader. You can do teleprompting. Love a teleprompter support. Screencast, so you can use the same back camera and still frame the shot. It's awesome. Go to Slateable.com, download the Slateable app, and use promo code SELFTAPE-May26. Here's the thing. Even if you're just curious about Slateable, like, what is it? Take the free month and experiment. What if it's the solution you've been looking for? What if? Might as well just F around and find out. Slateable.com, promo code SELFTAPE-May26. All right, this listener question is also brought to you by TrackMyAuditions.com. You guys, I know that you are nerds and you believe in the numbers. And we're here to tell you your numbers could give you even more, even clearer data for less than a cup of coffee a month in 1 month. Way less than a cup of coffee in Los Angeles in a month. You guys, I love Track My Auditions. If you have not started tracking your auditions, go now and start trackmyauditions.com. Also, if you already track your auditions, you're like, Audrey, I mean, is it better than my spreadsheet? Yes. Oh my God. Yes, it's better than your spreadsheet. I see your spreadsheets. They don't have enough information on them. They need more data. More data. And you can easily transfer your already existing spreadsheets to Track My Auditions. Go to trackmyauditions.com, promo code Audrey25 for 25% off. We are going to do 6-month stats in June. We're going to go over our stats, all of us. We're just going to do it wide. 6-month stats. We're gonna work with Track My Auditions so everyone can have a little entry point. But go to trackmyauditions.com, get it going, get your data entered. Promo code Audrey25 for 25% off. All right, call us with your listener questions or updates. I love a good update, you guys. I love an update. 667-ACTOR-70. That's 667-ACTOR-70.
Hi, Audrey. This is Wei Yi calling from Los Angeles. My first question is, where do my fellow actors storing their past self-tapes? Are commercial self-tapes worth saving? Okay, so second question, I am looking for a bra where if I show up with them, the customer will say, oh yeah, that's something I can work with, to fittings or whatever. Alternatively, is it appropriate to tell wardrobe or to ask wardrobe, hey, I was wondering if I can have undergarments with this wardrobe. Is that something that's in the show's budget? Yeah, thank you. Bye. Oh, and I really love your podcast. Bye. You're great.
I love these questions. Hey, Liz, where do you store your tapes?
I store them in a couple places because I don't trust a lot of things, but I have them on a cloud.
Ditto.
And I also have them on a drive.
Great. I have mine on a cloud, and then I have them on Dropbox.
I hate to tell you this, but Dropbox is a cloud.
Well, okay, but I keep them on both because...
So you have 2 different clouds that you store on.
I have 2 different clouds.
Got it.
So that if one cloud decides to rain...
Sure. I was
Right.
I was wondering where this was gonna, like, where the metaphor was going. Dissipate?
Dissipate is good,
Sure.
right?
I like rain and dissipate.
If it gets floated away by floated, is that a word?
Yeah.
If it floats away from the wind, then I have another cloud nearby.
Great.
Okay, great. So Google Drive also, I believe, takes all of my stuff. So I have the iCloud, I have the Google Drive also takes all of my stuff, and then Dropbox, because I'm not...
I really wanted you to say the Dropbox because you said the iCloud.
The Google Drive.
The Google Drive.
And the Dropbox, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you keep your tapes?
I want to look at them.
Why?
Because I want to see what progress I've made. And I also want to see if the performance I did matched who ended up booking it.
And when do you take a look at that sort of stuff? Do you have a system of, like, are you obsessing about when that episode airs and they're like, April 7th, April 7th, April 7th? Or do you do like a quarterly, let's take a look, or an annual, let's take a look?
It's more like a half a year.
Great, every 6 months.
Yeah, it's sort of around the time where I start getting insecure.
Yeah.
It's usually, when everything gets a little quiet for me. So
Yeah, May,
June.
Yeah.
It's just normal. And I know that about myself. It's also my birthday month, so I get really weird.
Yeah.
But that's when I decide to, like, let's look at tapes, and I reminisce and think, God, that was so good. Why didn't I book that? And then I watch it and I go, oh, because they went with a 25-year-old. So
Right.
there was no way I was going to ever book this. Or I go like, wow, that was a fellow peer.
Mm-hmm.
They did a great job.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes for me, it's like, oh, the solution on me for this role was kill them with kindness. But the solution on that actress was stone cold bitch. And I actually don't do stone cold bitch the way that some of my peers do. And they don't do kill them with kindness as well as I do. So it's just, then we get into directorial choices.
Right.
Which one do we want? And then I'm like, oh yeah, she booked that and her bitch ass face booked it. So great. You can actually store a link to your self-tapes at Track My Auditions, promo code Audrey25. So if you want to do what Liz is saying and go back and watch them, go back and see what you did and see what the person who booked it did, you can keep all of that on there, which is part of what I really like about it.
That's fantastic. And then you asked about bras. Let's talk about bras.
Let's please talk about wardrobe preparation, bras, and undergarments. What's your method?
Okay. If you're in LA, there's a woman, I think it's called Sarah's Lingerie.
It is called Sarah's Lingerie.
She's on Ventura. She's so expensive, so expensive, but my God, she will fit you with the best undergarments. I will also say this. For me personally, if I'm on set and I'm feeling insecure or I want extra coverage or I feel like I do not have the appropriate undergarment for whatever they might put me in,
Yeah.
I ask for them to supply it.
And have you ever had any remarks like, you want Spanx? Or have you ever had anything like, what is this bra? Or have you ever had anything like, you want to wear tights? Has anyone ever given you flack?
No, they've always been like, would you like to wear tights?
Absolutely.
Would you like to wear Spanx? And also, I think the only time I've maybe gotten like, would you mind bringing is low budget. Or like doing favors for friends that has no budget. And I'm like, yeah, I think I have a strapless bra. We'll figure it out, you know?
Yeah. I think we should identify what are the undergarments that are essential to have. And I'd like to talk to the ladies first. Ladies, I want you to know every time you're filming, you're going to get your period. I just want you to know that's true. That is what happens. Even if you were like, it wasn't scheduled, it's 2 weeks early, whatever's going on, you're going to be on your way to wardrobe and suddenly it's going to be a red river in between your legs. And I want you to know this is not wardrobe's first rodeo. They are not embarrassed. They're not disgusted. They're not horrified. They are used to it. And if you show up to wardrobe and you're like, hey, of course, on my way here, I discovered a red river between my legs. Do we have a solution? I want you to know they have a solution. They have brand new, fresh underwear packets for you, and they've got tampons, maxi pads galore, because that's their job. And they're an incredible, supportive group of women.
I also want to say not just like ladies, but like anyone with female parts, right?
Right. Love it.
This is all available.
All of it is available for you.
Right.
Okay. So if that's something that you experience, because you will, if you are booking a job and blood comes out of your body, it will come out of your body the day.
Or if you're bloated, you can be like, do we have Spanx?
Do we have
please?
Spanx? Or you can also say, hey, I'm bloated right now. I would feel more comfortable if I got some support wear. They have it. Now, if we're going in the list of things that I think it is important to always have in your kit when you arrive to wardrobe, 1, a nude bra. First and foremost. It doesn't have to be a strapless bra, but a nude bra in general. If you are wondering whether or not you should have a strapless bra, that's a question to ask wardrobe when they call you to ask for your sizes. You say, nude bra is fine, and they'll say, yes, please bring whatever you have. Now, if they discover that they don't think you're wearing the right size bra, you might get also, could you just try on this bra just in case? Could you get this bra? If that happens to you, don't take it personally. It just means they're looking for a certain fit on you, and they're going to give you a different bra for you to wear for the actual shoot. But a nude bra is essential. Also, you want to have nude panties, okay? Nude underwear. That's because who knows what they're putting you in? Nude underwear. So I, Audrey, have wardrobe underwear and wardrobe bras that I do not wear unless it's wardrobe day. They stay in my set bag that is got all of my set stuff in it. And I have in a plastic baggie, because I'm Audrey Moore, a nude bra and some unworn, untouched, I didn't put them accidentally in the washing machine with a bunch of black dye. Nude underwear.
I'm laughing because you do dye stuff, so yeah, that could happen.
Oh, girl, my
for
stuff
you.
turns black real fast. Why did I put it in with those jeans? Why not? So I have that. Then I also have undergarments that I will bring. I bring Spanx of all. Once you do publicity, ladies and gentlemen, you will get a library of support wear that you didn't even know existed. So I will bring some for jeans. I will bring some for waist. I will bring some for whatever kind of support. And I just bring it to the wardrobe. And then I say gently, I also have this support stuff. I'm probably going to wear these Spanx. Is that okay? The only reason it wouldn't be okay is if there's something specific happening, like I did one project where I needed to bleed out and die. Mm-hmm. And the way that they were going to set up the prop of the sudden bleeding happening, we couldn't use Spanx in that particular instance because of the way they needed to like explode the blood suddenly. It was just the mechanism that they were using. So something like that can occur, but I want you to know they were always remarkably. It's
a job for them. They're just trying to make you look the way producers and the story and everyone else needs you to look to support whatever's going on in the episode or the movie.
While also hopefully wanting you to feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
They almost, I don't think I've ever had them not say, how do you feel?
Yes.
How do you feel? You like this? Do you feel comfortable? Now, if you're Audrey, this is what I say. I don't care. And they're like, oh, you don't care? And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
I just did something where they were like, are you okay with showing it? I was like, as long as it's funny, it's fine. You know what I mean? And there were nights where it was really, really cold and they brought tights because they were like, we know you're going to freeze.
Yes.
And on camera, no one will be able to tell. And that's okay.
That's absolutely okay.
So thoughtful. So Audrey, what should people with male genitalia bring?
Okay, so if you are an actor who is portraying male genitalia, you can also have plenty of conversations about support wear. There are all kinds of Spanx-like things for men. A lot of times also sweating through your shirts is an issue. If you are a person who knows, whether you're male or female presenting, if you are a person who sweats through things fast, you definitely want to bring that up to wardrobe to let them know that that's something that happens to you. You're not going to get fired. You're not going to lose a job. What you are actually going to do is you are going to save everyone time, energy, and money by preempting a problem that you know you'll have on set. If they're beaming a bunch of lights on you and you're outside in 98-degree weather, you have to be able to say, hey, I'm going to pour sweat through this, so I need everyone to just be ready and have options for me. And they will buy 3-4 shirts for you. There are also lots of undergarments that are like sweat guard protectors for you. They can do that. Another thing is, let's do some neutral colors down below.
What does neutral colors mean, Audrey?
Neutral colors means if you are wearing lighter colors, it's not going to show through. So generally speaking, the tone of your skin. If you are darker skin tone, let's maybe not wear white.
Right.
And we've gotten a lot better about that.
Let's say I'm pale and see-through.
You're Audrey. For me, my skin tone has like a blush to it. So I actually don't wear the brown nude. I wear the blush nude color. Just go to Nordstrom's, go to Macy's. They have all kinds of colors. Skims has gotten really good about that in terms of options, and you can bring those options with you. It's just because you're not sure what it is that they're going to put you in. Now, here's another thing though. If you are going to get shot, if they're going to have blood on you, if you're going to have, if they're going to spill a bunch of coffee on you.
Costumes will always just give you stuff.
Just ask for what you need. And if you're like, hey, I don't actually want to ruin my undergarments, here's what I wear, here's the size, and here's the color, they will buy it for you, and they'll buy it in multiples.
And I just want to make sure we answer Wee's question, which was specifically what kind, like, is there a specific bra that we should look at?
Generally speaking, you don't want to wear something that is the coverage is too high, in that the bra maybe is going closer to the clavicle.
So it might show in something like a V-neck.
That's
or
exactly
an
right.
open, like a collared shirt that we might unbutton.
Now, if you are a person who is of maybe a breast size, that you need a certain amount of support, and so your bras are of that type, that's just an easy communication for you to have with wardrobe. Okay. It doesn't really matter underwire, no underwire. All I ask is that you stick to nudes.
I think she was specifically asking, like, is there a specific store besides, like I mentioned, Sarah's Lingerie?
So you said Sarah's Lingerie. I hate to tell everybody, but in Los Angeles, if you have not been to Sarah's Lingerie, you are missing out. And I want you to know it is more expensive than you are even imagining. But once you get bras that fit you, I want you to know the devastating news is you literally cannot go back, because
everything just looks better.
Looks better, stops hurting, all of the things.
Straps stop falling.
Straps don't fall.
Let's say we're in Michigan.
Okay.
Where should we go online?
I actually don't recommend going online. I recommend going in store and trying things on a lot. Unfortunately, when you go into someplace like Victoria's Secret, or you go into the garment section of like a department store, I find those people are actually not qualified and don't exactly give me a ton of help. So you're going to have to kind of do your best. But I would say the general rule is 2 thumbs between the band of your bra and your skin. If you can fit more than 2 straps, it's too loose.
So you need to go down a number.
Down a number. And then if you're having any gapping between your cups, that's another thing that says that maybe it's a little bit too big. So a gap of space between your bust and the actual bra itself, then it's maybe too big.
And obviously go online. There's YouTube videos with much more qualified professionals
Than
than you
you
and
and I.
me talking about bras.
Yes.
I will say for me, I found success with Soma.
Great.
For some of my friends and younger people that I help, you know, Soma tends to be a pretty national chain.
Great.
I find Macy's or Nordstrom's tends to be better about stock and sizes and ranges. But, you know, department stores are all dying. So do
Good
your
luck.
best. Try. And, you know, if you do have to go online, buy a couple different band sizes, cup sizes, see what works.
Right. And you know, another thing that could be good, when you book a job, while you're in wardrobe and you have the bra that you have, ask the wardrobe person if they have a recommendation of something that would do better for you.
That's a great idea because that's their profession. So Audrey, tell me, I mean, we were just talking about undergarments and stuff. What else do you keep in your set kit? You mentioned that you keep underwear and bras that are like specially sealed in a plastic bag.
I also have some things that are important for sets. I have an external charger block that doesn't exist in my life except for that kit, so that when I book a job, I'm not like, where is it?
So you mean the kind that plugs into the wall? And a battery?
No, I'm talking the external battery. I'm talking the block.
Oh, I have 2. I have one that pluggy in because
Yes.
sometimes that block be dead.
That's true.
Because we be on set all day.
That's right.
And we want to be responsible.
That's right. Also, I bring a little coloring book and some colored pencils or colored pens that always
Why?
just sort of stay in there. Because God help me, you know, sometimes days are long on set. And a shout out to Kate Siegel, who said, being on your phone looks like don't talk to me, could be disrespectful, could be generally unlikable. It doesn't mean that it is, but it could be. A book says like, I'm available, but I'm also don't have to talk to you.
It also says you can read.
It says I can read and I can't. So I don't usually
But
bring
sometimes
books.
it looks good.
Sometimes
it's a good set prop.
Sometimes it's a great set prop. That's true. But a coloring book, something like that, what that does for my brain is it allows me to continue to be involved in a way that keeps my brain active, but still my body passive, because some of these days are very long. They're exhausting. I want to keep my mental focus going, but I don't want to tap out my mental energy. Also, it's a great conversation piece. When I shot a TV show with Christian Slater, The Love of My 13-Year-Old Life, I was sitting there coloring, and he passes by and is one of those actors that wants to keep himself to himself, which is great, right? But he passes by me and he stops, looks at me coloring, and he goes, "Coloring, huh?" And I said, "Yep." And he said, "Okay." And then he just kept walking. I was like, great chat. Great
If
chat,
that's not a vote for coloring books on set.
I don't know what is. So I have that. I also have things like particular coffees or teas that I specifically like to have on me that I don't want to think that they're going to have on sets. Absolutely always snacks that are specific to me. I'm not going to be eating a bunch of sugar. I'm not going to be eating a bunch of chips on set just for me and my energy. So I make sure that I have some protein bars and nuts and snacks that last a while. Some other things that I have, emergency, things like that, Advil, Tylenol. I've got tampons in there. I've got... I've got my Band-Aids. I've got my shout wipes. I mean, I'm like, I'm a mother hen.
To be fair,
yes.
Wardrobes should have shout wipes.
Everybody should have all of it.
There should be a medic on set,
yes.
right? So want to be
Tylenol.
Advil. There should be, same thing, they should have period products
Absolutely,
for you
they always
too.
do.
But I hear that you really come prepared.
I come prepared only because I want to sort of stay as focused and ready as possible in whatever environment I'm in. And so having those things on me does make me feel like, okay, I'm ready to go. The things I don't have in my set bag that I do always bring with me, I always bring my laptop with me. I always bring my charger for my laptop. I also am an incorporated actor, so I have printouts of my stamped articles and my W-9 already ready to go so that that's done, so I can just hand those in. And then I also have deodorant. Mm-hmm. And then I also have earplugs because sometimes sets are loud and I can get a little overstimulated with noise in particular.
I love it.
Great. Liz, what's in your set bag?
Pretty much everything that you have, minus some of the other stuff, because I'm a different human being.
Yes.
You mentioned coloring book. Sometimes I bring a puzzle book. So that means like word search, Sudoku. That's also a great opportunity if you have other actors who are like, want to do stuff with you and you're like, sure, we can do Sudoku together. There we go. It also, same idea, low effort, low lift. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I can be searching for words. Sometimes I'm just staring at a page. You don't know.
You don't know.
But I look like I'm doing something.
Right.
I am a crafter, so sometimes I'll bring crochet.
Yes.
I specifically bring my own allergy meds because they cannot have like pseudoephedrine on set. It's like you have to buy from behind the counter and sign with your ID in California. So I just bring it just in case something happens.
I will say that I bring migraine and headache medicine for the same reason, because they can have Tylenol and Advil and all of those things, but they don't have my Ubrelvy.
Right. And then I also bring like maybe my meds if it's an overnight, like when I normally take them. I just try to, I'm a person who works best when all my meds are working with me. Mm-hmm. I bring a water bottle. I bring headphones.
Which water bottle do you bring?
I bring my Owala. I love my Owala because it's
Is
covered.
It the one that's filtered? Mm-mm. Yeah, so I bring the Brita filtered one, so that way I always have a filter.
I'm just a dirty water rat.
Well, you are a dirty water rat. That's right.
And then I also have a bag that I bring to the trailer or, where I'm going to set up. And then I have an on-set bag, which is usually a bigger tote that's easy for me to carry around and kind of like have near me wherever we're holding. Yes. So I don't have to bring everything with me, right? It's just the things I want to make sure I have, like the puzzle book, the chargers. Yes. So I'm not bringing like all my undergarments and my coat that I wore in the morning because it was so cold and now it's 100 degrees. Like stuff like that could stay where I originally got changed. And then I have another tote that I bring with me.
That is some rock star prep on prep level action. You're like, I've got bag in, bag on, bag on, bag.
Hey man, you got to do what you got to do.
I love it. I'm a whore for preparation. And I also find that anything like that, especially for me, I don't know about for you, but for me, I always have it ready to go because you just don't know when you're going to be working tomorrow.
I will also say for my friends who have more melanin in their skin or different hair type, I know that a lot of them bring their own makeup or hair products that work specifically for their skin tone and hair type. I think that's really important, unfortunately.
Yes.
I hope that whenever you land to set that production has taken the steps to make sure that they are supporting you best. Sometimes that doesn't work out. So please be prepared. I want you to look and feel the best you can be while you are working.
And all I recommend to people is if you have things like makeup brushes that you want to have that are like your makeup brushes, I really recommend having a set so that you're not taking your makeup brushes that you use every day maybe and then are like, are they clean? Are they going to work with them? What are these makeup brushes? But that you have a small amount that are maybe essential brushes that you only have 4 sets. So that way you don't have to like book the job. You got the call at 9 p.m. You have to be on set at 5 a.m. You have to drive an hour and a half north to do it. And then you have to, I didn't clean my brushes and is it going to be okay? It's like, it's already there. It's done. Anything to make the transition from I'm not working tomorrow to like, I'm working tomorrow. Easy, smooth, and settled, I think is a good to go.
Yeah, I love this.
Love this. Thanks, Wei. I love you. I'm trying to get Wei signed with my commercial agent. Hopefully that works out.
Awesome.
She's fantastic. But wait, Liz, wait. I have to interrupt you.
Help me. I need some help.
And now it's time for listener questions.
I'm so scared.
This listener question is brought to you by the Castability app. Use Castability to make Self-Tape May easier this year. You know what I'm loving? I am loving all of the various versions that you're all posting of the Castability scenes. It is so satisfying to watch one scene be done like 30 different ways. You guys know I'm watching your tapes. Everyone's like, Audrey, do you participate in Self-Tape May? And I'm like, I do, by watching all of your tapes. I watch all of them. I'm so inspired. And watching one Castability scene over and over and over again with different imaginations and different perspectives, all of it is so cool. Record scenes using original copy-free material, built-in teleprompter plus in-app reader. Record up to 4 scenes per week, all month long, all completely free. My favorite price free, Frizzo free. And if you want to get some feedback, you can enter 4 of them for a little casting director feedback for free. And if you want a little bit more, you just sign up. Just sign up. And then you can extend that feedback with casting directors as long as you're signed up. It's just so great. Go to castability.actor, use code 063652, 063652 to get a pre-launch access to the app, 063652. It's in the show notes. Call us with your listener questions, 667-ACTOR-70. Here is another listener question.
Hello, Audrey. I have to mask my voice. Calling from LA with this terrible accent about how on Friday, 6 p.m., I got a period SAG-AFTRA audition due Monday, 6 p.m. When I asked my reps for more time, they sent an email back from casting saying, casting has responded with the below, quote, we need to send the team tapes as we shoot in 2 weeks, ... It's 2.5 pages, ... I don't feel comfortable calling SAG because they take your name and the project. And especially now since I've already tried to go through casting and they've already pushed back. And they didn't even bother to blame production. They just said, do it. Now I have to find all these period pieces for my outfit. I've had numerous of these SAG auditions like this. Thank you. Help.
Okay, so this question is about the SAG-AFTRA rule for a 48-hour turnaround.
Which we fought very hard for.
And I was adamant about plus the page maximum.
Correct.
That occurs, which is 8 pages. I fought for 3, you guys. We don't need more than 3, but 8, here we are. So for the first call, 48-hour turnaround and 8 pages, that's an important turnaround, but I want everyone to know, per the contract, it's not written in stone. It is a guideline that is heavily suggested, but exceptions are allowed, and there is no SAG-AFTRA audition police coming for productions unless a particular office or particular show is getting a violation too often. So now, when you call and they ask your show and they ask for your name and they ask for that stuff, it is actually not because they're going and being like, hey,
Liz,
we just got a phone call from Elizabeth Ho, SAG ID number such and such.
this is her Actors Access page.
Yeah, exactly.
Blacklist her.
We've got a blacklist button for you to push if you'd like it. Let me send you a link. It's because that show might be a serial violator when it comes to time. Now, casting wants to give you more time. Casting doesn't have the power. So SAG actually has to say, hey, we're saying they get this much time, so that then casting can say to production, hey,
It's not us.
it's not us. Union rules state they get this much time. However, tons of things occur. A character maybe needs to be recast. A character was invented 10 minutes ago, and they need to make sure that they cast it ASAP. You said you're getting a lot of these. That's sort of surprising to me. How many times have you gotten, I need this sooner than 48 hours since the SAG contract?
Oh, maybe 1 or 2-ish within 6 months-ish.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened to me at all. So the fact that this is happening to you consistently, I wonder if what we actually have is an agent communication issue and not a production communication issue, because production gives it to casting, casting gives it to your agent, and then your agent has to give you the audition. So if your agent isn't giving you the 48 hours, but casting has, then that might be an agent issue. So just something to consider. In terms of what you can do about it, nothing. There's really nothing you can do, right?
You just have to decide whether or not you're going to do the audition.
Now, if the role is SAG-AFTRA, that's one union. If it's theater and it's
On stage.
and it's
Live.
a union,
Correct.
then it's equity. Actors Equity is a separate union from SAG-AFTRA, and Actors Equity does not have a page limit or a turnaround time.
Correct. So I also thought when I heard it that if this was for theater and the turnaround was quick, that's just part of what Equity's rules are set up for. So if your agent is getting you a lot of theater auditions on stage, not in front of camera, that could also explain why you are getting very fast turnaround or being asked for very fast turnaround.
And period, too.
And a wide range of pages. I know you said this was 2.5, but that could also be it. So then I think that means a expectation shift for you.
Right.
And it can be confusing because there are casting offices that cast both theater, film, and TV. So it's just the more you know.
I do want to make sure that we talk about a career that lasts through all the horrors of life.
Sure.
Okay, so Liz, you've had a challenging year personally and emotionally. We don't have to get into the specifics of it unless you want to. But one thing that I've noticed from actors, particularly after the pandemic and then the strikes, is a lot of people feel like, oh, I keep getting this momentum, or I keep getting this thing, and then the pandemic hit, and then the strikes hit. And I have said to any actor that has this conversation with me, I'm like, well, it's that. That's what it is you're going to have your career, and then also life happens. And it's okay to take time off of acting if life is happening. And it's also okay to continue to do acting as life happens around you. So do you want to talk about your personal experience of that? Anything about maybe the pressure valve, or your juggling the hard knocks of life versus opportunities, and the, if you're feeling emotional and you get broad multicam auditions, like, what's a girl to do?
Well, I know you've also dealt with high highs and low lows throughout the years. And I think the more I live, unfortunately, the more I learn that it all exists in a gray area where everything is kind of cyclical, specifically in this career, right? We're not like doctors where we have even doctors, but in a profession where it's a easy 9 to 5, this is where guns for hire.
Yes.
And sometimes there are a lot of killer contracts and sometimes it is crickets. And so I have tried really hard working with my therapist and then having the community that I built around me to support myself with what my worth is, that is not tied to necessarily just the product that I am constantly trying to outpour from myself, right? Meaning like, how many shows have I booked? How many commercials have I booked? How many voiceover jobs have I booked?
Yes.
If I don't book this many, then that means I've failed, right? And that's very hard for me. And I think it's hard for a lot of Americans, period, because our worth is tied so much to the profession and how others view us in terms of being busy, and then we have that whole mirror of social media, which is all just fake.
Right.
I have a bunch of friends who I'll post stuff and they'll be like, I didn't know you were doing all this. I was like, yeah, well, some of it's real old. Doesn't matter. It's all fake, right? So like pictures from me in France, sure, that was months ago.
Yes.
I also am very private in that like, I don't want people to know necessarily where I am and what I'm doing in life, because I want to process that first before sharing it on social media, right?
Yes.
So in terms of all of that and then dealing with the high highs and low lows, it's therapy, it's community, and then it's having grace for myself. Because some days life just be lifing, and that is really hard for me to just sit, right? The other day I had a weekend and I was like, I'm not doing anything, so I should just rest. I couldn't do it, right? Because I was like, I should be looking at my analytics. I should be, researching, I need new commercial headshots. I should look at all those things. And it was so hard for me to turn that switch off. I didn't really. But I know that if and when I'm able to give myself rest, that the creative artist part of me, then it feels like work behind the scenes. Right? It gets, that part of my brain gets to have more time, like the subconscious part to like, maybe it's nervous system stuff too, to like rest and refresh and all that.
Yeah.
And then in terms of having low lows, doing very broad comedy, or you're in a real happy place and you got to pretend like your mom just died.
Right.
That's part of the job.
Yes.
And that is something that I'm very grateful for my training and for having a lot of time on set and being around people who I look up to and I think that are above me and constantly challenge me to be on my game.
Right.
How about for you?
Well, what I would be interested in for you is also communication with your team. When I lost my brother, I had to go home for my brother's funeral. That was like it wasn't like going to be down the street. So I had to book out and then plan, execute, and witness and return from my brother's funeral. And in fact, my brother was dying on the day. I had a callback in the morning, and then I had an audition like early afternoon, and then I had to do wardrobe for a show that I booked in the late afternoon. And that was like, he's on life support. I don't think he's going to make it through the day. Your mom is weeping over his body saying, I failed you, I failed you, I failed you. So that was a lot. So I ended up shooting that week and was able to communicate with my family and with production that I needed to go home. And then obviously, of course, I had to have a conversation with my representation and let them know that my brother had passed. And that's something that I know everyone feels personal about, because they don't want their reps thinking like that they're not game to go, that they're going to maybe have to process some grief and take some time away. So I wonder, your personal experience about talking to your team, why or why not, and then maybe other actors that talking to their teams, why or why not.
For me, I mean, I've been with artists and reps who rep both of us for a very long time.
Yep.
I've had a very personal relationship with them. And I know that if I present something that they're human beings and they'll see it and respect it. I also know for me, like sometimes I can't tape when I'm away and sometimes I can.
Yes.
So being very specific in what I can and cannot do within a certain time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I got sick. I lost my voice. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just can't do it and you got to tell them because raspy Liz is not going to sound like that on the day, right? Yes. And also they don't want me to be filming sick. No one does.
You're not the first person that they've repped who's lost their voice. I got pink-eyed 2 weeks ago, and I was
so sexy.
So sexy, and I emailed my commercial agents. And I was like, the subject line said pink eye.
I bet they were like, click, 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 open, open, open.
I was like, I'll be back. And when I was back, I was like, it's done. And they were like, welcome back.
I will say there is fear around telling production, rightfully so. I know some friends who've lost out on jobs or have been written out of shows because of life stuff.
Me too.
And I know that's been devastating for them when they look back at the breadth of their careers. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? But that's just life. I hate saying it. Like, it's just part of it. And we talked earlier about luck, a lot of it. And that's also part of it. Sometimes there is bad luck, but the fear is very real. It is something that has happened to others. And so I would say in terms of talking to reps, I personally have a very good relationship with mine and I feel comfortable telling them. You just got to gauge it with what you have.
One of the beautiful things about growing and developing a relationship with your representation over time is, let's say a life event happens and you're not sure whether or not you should talk to production about it. Hopefully you have a relationship with your representation where they can help steer you in that conversation as well. And they can let you know, on this one, I've had some hearings and some minglings and some chatter. This isn't one that we're going to tell production. And we're going to come up with a different story, and that's going to give us a different out, right?
It's a team sport, right?
It's a team sport, right?
It's always been a team sport.
Tell us your social media. Where can they find you?
Sure. I'm on Instagram and TikTok, Real Elizabeth Howe.
Wonderful. Tell me about whether or not you think a self-tape May is something that you recommend actors to do or not do.
I love self-tape May. I think it's so fun. I think it's a really fun challenge for all of us with very low stakes.
Yes.
What do you got to lose? Time?
Right.
And I've been doing story coaching with clients and acting coaching. And oftentimes when their stakes are low, it's really fun to play, right?
Best time to learn.
Best time to learn, try new things out. Maybe you want to try new lighting. This is low stakes, but it gives you a deadline of sorts, right? Because we actors love a deadline because if we don't have it, we're not going to put it on, right?
Right.
And the external pressure, just the teeniest bit, can lead to a lot of fun discovery. So try that new hairdo, try that accent, try a different reader, maybe place a camera somewhere else, 2 cameras, I don't know. Try it.
Props, try no props. Try, that weird accent that you...
Try eating so much food on camera, it's really gross. But Brad Pitt does it, so why not? Why don't you?
Why don't you? Also, we're doing procedurals this year. I know that you have booked a lot of procedurals.
And so have you. I love procedurals.
Tell them about why you love procedurals.
Oh my goodness, there are just so many opportunities for us actors.
And they pay really well.
And they're fun. They're well-oiled machines. You show up and everything is running, the train is running on time, God willing. But most of the time,
And the sets are really well run. The leads are lovely.
So nice.
Because they're on a show for 6 years. They're happy.
This is work. They're like another day at the office. They're hanging out with everyone and, maybe they have a bad day, whatever, but...
And they're used to hiring newer actors who don't have a bunch of resumes. So you coming in and feeling a little bit green is part of what they do. And it's not weird and it's not a problem. It's part of the machine that they are running.
And procedurals, it's cut and dry. You know what the storyline's going to be. We drive the car from point A to point B to point C, and you pretty much know where you're going to land.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I love hanging out with you guys.
I love hanging out with you.
It's so
I will
fun.
do podcasts as long as I can. And one day we're going to do a podcast about all of the scams, murders, and cults things that we watch.
It'll never end.
It will never end.
It will never end.
I told somebody about Unicorn Girl yesterday.
And?
She was like, what is it? And I was like,
get ready.
Just you fucking wait. It's better than I could ever possibly tell you.
I remember telling you about it.
When
you were like,
told me about it, I was like, what is Unicorn Girl? And then I listened to it and I was like,
what isn't Unicorn Girl?
I think I texted you, this is the gift that keeps on giving. And you were like, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Which is right. Next week. week on Audrey Helps Actors, we have somebody coming on. We haven't decided yet. It's going to be great, though. It's gonna be great. Thank you, Liz. Thank you so much for coming on. Girl, you funny. We had a really great recurring joke in the entire episode, and Jesse cut it. He cut the whole thing out. He said no. You want to know what the joke was? The joke was about dolphin sounds, particularly that I make dolphin sounds during the sexy time process. He said, nay, Audrey, that's not appropriate. So you were denied. I would like to apologize on behalf of the podcast for the persistent hilarity that he has robbed you of. This episode was mixed and mastered by my favorite arc writer, Thomas Snodgrass. Nobody's more talented. Produced and edited by my second favorite arc writer, Jesse Lumen, still so handsome. Why? Show music by Ari De Niro. Theme song by Aalok Mehta and 108 Hill. All right, everybody, don't forget your towel. I hope today everyone says yes to you. That's the sound I make when I come. Jesse's used to it.